The same gig. Again, it's Vandals Rugby Club. It's the same horn section with Alex Herman on trombone, Rhys Thomas on tenor, Roy Adams on tenor, Pete Martin on alto. I don't see a trumpet player there. Whose legs are they?
That's the trombone player.
Is it?
Yeah.
Who's that on the end?
Yeah. What's he doing?
Is that Dr. Bob on the end? No. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heads and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs of legs.
Someone lost his head.
No, there must be. What's going on there with the sunglasses?
Yeah, that's the trombone player, isn't it?
No, the trombone player's in the white suit on this end.
Oh, alright. So there's 2 trombones, because I see another...
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, we had 2 trombones that day. Yeah, there is 2 trombones. I don't know who that is. Right, maybe in another photo it'll become clearer. But now we have Dr. Bob singing. Okay, hidden at the back here is a guy called George McFall, now playing the drums for us. I met George. I think we played a gig at a pub called The Goat in Halliford, or The Bugle in Shepperton. And George came and watched us. And at the end he said, oh, if you need a deck drummer, you need someone up for it. Anyway, when Dr. James decided to leave, we were struggling to find a singer. The band wasn't really very well known. All the singers I knew were like working already and too busy to commit to our schedule as well as their own. And Bob said, well, I'll sing then. And we'd never heard Bob sing. So it was a bit, we said, okay, Bob, if you can sing.
Yeah.
And he knew the words because he'd been listening to Dr. James singing them for the last 2 years. So we gave him a try. We had a try with him and he was great. A little bit different than Dr. James. And I think the band, although the songs were the same, the band actually got harder arrangements. Dr. James was quite I wouldn't say a mellow singer because he could belt it as well. But because of Bob being a drummer, he was much more strict in the way he delivered, which tightened everybody else up. Anyway, George came in on the drums and I became very, very good friends with George. He was a very close friend, a very dear friend, and unfortunately died too early. I'll do a complete video about George because his influence on the London music scene was quite extraordinary, because after still while he was doing the drumming with us, he started becoming a promoter. And but it really deserves a 15-minute video to tell the story of me and George. He took me off to Ireland and we had a great time, and I played with Phil Guy, who's Buddy Guy's brother there. He fixed that, and he fixed a lot of things for me in Ireland, playing at the Guinness Jazz and Blues Festival and stuff like that. So we'll talk about George in another video, but he's on drums now that Bob is singing. So I've got to keep these photographs separate so we know which ones to put on the screen. Okay, this is all the girlfriends watching us play. So that's a nice photo without any ugly guys in it.
Yep.
Yeah. That shirt I'm wearing there, you see that yellow, is that a yellow shirt?
Yeah. Ish.
So I bought that on the, there'll be a bit of better ones of me wearing it, I expect. No, it's a different gig.
Yeah, it's not really.
Okay, so yeah, I bought that on the Isle of Wight when we played the for Cowes Regatta at Ancestors Marina as it was then. I think it's called. I don't know what it's called now. I do, but I can't remember. It's like Yachting World or something. Yacht Haven. Cowes Yacht Haven. It's called now. Yeah, so there's still the same bass player, roughly the same horn section. Dr. Bob being energetic.
Right.
Okay, this is Pete the bass player.
Yeah.
He was really, really solid. Not flashy, not anything. Oh, cat's just come in. Okay, so this is a different year. Different bass player. This is Julian. Julian was with us for a couple of years. Dr. Bob's still singing, I'm playing guitar.
Yeah.
You can't quite see George, he's hidden behind my elbow.
It's always the drummer's thing.
Yeah. So I'm playing a Marshall 50 watt
It wins.
amp. This is the Cat Winston. He's decided he wants to be in this video. So this old 4x12 cabinet that George got me.
Right.
He gave that to me.
He had a keyboard player.
So this was a crazy guy. I was in the pub one night and we got a piano. I got a piano from Felton Fleet School, where I told you I taught, and they were going to throw this piano out. And I said, no, you can't just throw it out. Can I have it? And they said, yeah, if you can collect it. So that lunchtime, I went to the pub, the Plough, where Fat Boy is, in Downside. Remember Fat Boy?
Yeah.
And the Man Overboard gigs. So I went down there and I found a guy called George and his mate Ray. We got a couple of other guys. I bought them all about 3 pints each. And then we went and got George's trailer, stuck it on the back of Ray's truck, went to Felton Fleet School, got the piano out, loaded it on the trailer, threw a rope over it, drove it down to Weybridge where I was living with Susie, and then put it down the alley, down the side of the house and in the back doors of the house into where it stayed for a long time.
Yeah.
Eventually I gave it to a friend of mine who was a boat builder on Hayling Island, and his son wanted to learn. And he was learning at school and didn't have anything to practice on, and he didn't want a keyboard, he wanted a piano. So Susie's mum had died, and there was a piano at her house, and she wanted the piano from that her father played.
Yeah.
So we swapped them over, and my piano went off to Hayling Island to Ken the carpenter, and Susie's mum's piano came to our house. When it came, it was so out of tune because it hadn't been played for a long time. We were looking for a piano tuner.
Yeah.
So I was in the Old Crown, the pub at the end of our street, almost at the end of our street, and I was talking to a lady. She was a teacher, and she said, I knew she was a music teacher. I said, you don't happen to know any piano players? So she said, yeah, I know this guy called Jay, and he lives in Ripley. I'll give you his number. So I got Jay's number. I called him up and said, can you come and tune our piano, please, Jay? And he said, yes, no problem. And he came round about 11 o'clock in the morning. He tuned the piano, and he said, oh, well, it was tuned by about 12. He said, well, you better let it. It's so far out, it's going to move again.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So why don't we go for a drink, and after we've had a drink, we'll come back and I'll get it a bit closer. Well, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we returned, and we really got on very well. He was a nice guy, a very London Cockney type guy, but he always was really smart. Always, generally wore a suit to come and tune your piano. And when he tuned it for the second time, he sat down and he played, and I was blown away. And I said a few songs to him, and he played them straight off.
Right.
And I said, "Have you got electric piano or a Fender Rhodes or something like that?" He said, "I got an old Wurlitzer."
Oh shit.
So I said, "Do you want a job?" I wasn't looking for a piano player in the band.
Yeah.
But he was so good.
It was a really nice add-on.
It would be an opportunity wasted if he didn't come and play with us. And he spent 18 months with us, I suppose. And he was a great guy. Really good fun. Anyway, that's him on the piano at the Vandals Rugby Club.
And that's his Wurlitzer.
That's his Wurlitzer, yeah. The guy standing behind him on the saxophone has replaced Royce. I think Roy's now playing with London Slim. Full time. And Reese has moved from London back to Wales, I think. So Dominic came in to play tenor sax. Now, Dominic also played, he was in a early 70s band which had a #1. And he was a very accomplished saxophonist and a very smart guy, architect. And he used to love and come and blow with us. And he joined and was with us 3 or 4 years. Funny enough, on my last trip back to England, I went to a jam at a pub called the Royal Oak. It's in Hamworth, a place in Hamworth. I went to play a jam on a Monday night, and this bloke come in with a saxophone, and it was Dominic. So after not having seen him for 30 years,
right,
I met up with him again. We didn't actually get on the stage at the same time because he came in very late.
Yeah.
And but we had a good chat outside, having a cigarette in the freezing cold and the rain. And he's still got the same car. He's driving a BMW 653i, the sports model from the late 70s, early 80s. He had it. He used to put out our cars to shame when he arrived at the gig. And I used to tell people, well, we've had to put the price up since he's come to the band, you know. So anyway, that's Dominic there. You'll see him in a lot of the photos at Rockies. When we do the Rockies thing, he'll be in that band. And the trombone player will be Liam de Stack. So these are more of the same gig. We still had Alex Herman on trombone at this stage.
That's the same gig, yeah.
Yeah, that's the same gig, yeah. Okay. This is a gig that we did. Remember I told you about when I bought my art studio and then we turned it into rehearsal rooms as well. on Brooklands Farm in Weybridge. This is a gig in a barn at Brooklands Farm. I think it was Susie's birthday, or it was certainly somebody's birthday. Maybe not Susie's. I'll try and find out whose birthday that was. I think it was in the summer, and I think Susie's birthday is April, but I'm not quite sure. But this photo leads me on to an all-girl band called Something's Up. And I'll tell you how it's all connected in the next one.